website called All About the Tea.
She told All About the Tea that during the fight,
Hey, teacups, it's your girl, Monica. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. Joining me tonight are Teacup affiliates, Schoolboy. Hey, Schoolboy.
Hey.
Hey. We have the Bishop in the building. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Waiting on that stimmy.
And we have Plaz in the building. Hey, lovely Plaz.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey. All right, TGIF. Let me tell you. Ooh.
Jesus.
Yes.
I need this weekend. Teacups on the agenda tonight is T.I. and Tiny's victims turned into addicts, and they're suffering. And attorney Tyrone Blackburn is here to give us some inside details on how their sexual assault has affected their victims throughout the years. I'm just going to go right ahead and dive into it just to bring everyone up to speed. If you've been living under a rock, T.I. and Tiny Harris are being accused of sex trafficking, raping, and drugging women. It all began when a woman named Sabrina Peterson, okay, pull her picture up right here. She's pretty. She's a beautiful lady. Sabrina Peterson accused T.I. of pulling a pistol on her and holding it to her head. After that incident, they returned to being friends again, but something recently happened between T.I. and Sabrina and Tiny where they had a falling out. And as a result, Sabrina took to social media to expose T.I. for, being violent and holding this gun to her head. And after that, the floodgates opened up where numerous allegations of sexual assault by various women against T.I. and Tiny surfaced. Now, Tyrone Blackburn, like I said, he's an attorney out of New York, and Sabrina Peterson have joined forces after Sabrina went live and went public and accused T.I. of the gun incident. They recently went on Instagram Live, and in that video, Mr. Blackburn talks about how he met Sabrina, the nature of their relationship, and how T.I. and Tiny's sexual assault has affected their victims. Now, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go right in and play the video. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can all watch it together as a family. Right.
Hey, Sabrina.
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Just finished working. Well, part one of my day.
Part one. Yeah, I'm doing a little midday realignment ministry. So,
Yeah.
You want to tell everybody how we met?
Yes. Hold on. Let me close my curtain so there's no glare. So it's a very, very interesting story. In 2019, I just started my practice. I was 2 months in. I was very, very nervous, but I got an opportunity to go to Forbes and to present myself as an entrepreneur in a room full of entrepreneurs. I got there early because I was very nervous, and when I got there, Sabrina Peterson was already sitting there. So she had beaten me, who I'm always the person in the room. Sabrina was already in the room, sitting, relaxing at a table by herself. And I sat at the table across from her, and she invited me over. And, she just asked me about my background and who I was and all that stuff. And, she can see my nerves shaking because I was trying to write down notes of what I would say. And she said, keep calm, be confident in yourself. And she really spoke to me. No professor has ever spoken into. So she spoke into my life. Confidence, self-confidence as a Black man, self-confidence as a leader, self-confidence as an entrepreneur, and it really struck a chord. And we exchanged numbers. I told her about a couple of cases I was working on. She even offered to come to New York and to start a movement based on one of the cases that I was working on. because that's what she does. She believes in advocacy. She believes in making sure that people are held accountable for the wrong that they do, and she believes in standing for women. And at the time, I had a sexual assault victim and rape and harassment case from one of the major law firms in the country, against one of the major law firms in the country. And Sabrina had offered to actually start a movement around it, but I was so afraid to even accept her offer because I was so young behind the ears. I was so new, and she really, really spoke some confidence into my spirit, which set me on a path to where I am today, where I'm like a mini Sabrina, in the sense that I'm very much fearless on the side of rights, and I will stand up against whomever is standing in front of me. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much power or influence you have. I will always fight for.
Are the comments still rolling? Because I can't see them.
No, my comments are off.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. That's just the long and the short of it. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw that Sabrina does Sabrina was doing what she normally does, which is standing up on the side of the right. And I saw her being attacked. And I said, you know what, this can't happen to my friend. And I reached out to her to ask her if she needed some help, or to just even just show her my support. And she said yes. And then that's how the ball started rolling. And 30 plus phone calls later, and 11 retained clients, we are where we are today. And I think that we are going to make some serious changes within this industry, because we're going to hold a lot of people accountable for their actions. And that's it.
I'm proud of you.
I'm more proud of you. Yeah.
How did today's situation go? Did she go to the place?
She's actually going tomorrow, 2:00. It's already set up. So, not to give away any secrets to your 172 viewers on your live, but we may have an announcement to make later on this week again. So this is a never-ending story, and the ball keeps on rolling. So yeah, but the work doesn't stop. The work must continue. We got to make sure we stand up and we protect our Black women. That's it.
Another victim, right?
Yeah. But I have to do my due diligence. We have to work through the evidence and make sure that everything is what she says it is. And then we'll have an announcement to make in a couple of days. And I'll tell you this, my phone has been blowing up, literally blowing up since the press conference yesterday, and since the New York Times article was published on Sunday. And I've been getting calls and emails from women all across the country who's raising claims not against Tiny and T.I., but against other artists and against other news organizations. So it's sad that this is not an isolated incident, and this is more so, from my perspective, an issue with the culture, right? In the sense that folks think that this is okay to do because you're in a position of power, because you want to, party, but partying and including drugs and the forced ingestion of drugs and narcotics and all these different things and spiking of drinks and all that stuff. It leads to it leads to a lot of hurt people. It leads to a lot of damage in our community.
The thing is, everyone can't take drugs and walk away from them.
Exactly, because I said yesterday,
that's why drugs are drugs, right? That's why drugs are addictive. That's why it's a whole campaign on don't do drugs. Yeah. Everyone can't do cocaine one time. Everyone can't do Molly one time. Everyone can't just, many of us have had aunts and uncles and dads and family members that have been strung out on crack and heroin heroin, a lot of people can't just do that one time. So what someone considers is a one night of a fantasy, or one night of fun, or one night of using someone, and one night of abusing them, turns into a lifetime of a hellhole and a battle of addiction and drug abuse for I'm saying for that particular person. And when you have power, and when you have a position in life, and when you have a face card, you should know not to use that in any way, shape, fashion, or form negatively.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that unfortunately is the case. I mentioned that a little bit briefly yesterday during a press conference. Is the fact that some of the women that came forward and some of the women that I am representing actually had succumbed to addiction at some point in their life shortly thereafter the experience that they had with the Harrises. And some of them were able to bounce back quickly, maybe a couple of months, maybe a year, maybe a two, and some of them took years, because like you just said, you don't know the impact that drugs or narcotics will have on a particular individual. You don't know how their body's going to react to it. You don't know what their family's history is when it comes to addiction, and how easy it is for them to get addicted to something as opposed to someone else, because maybe their dad was an addict, or their mother was an addict, or someone along the line in their lineage was an addict. So, what you're viewing as momentary fun can lead to, like you just said, a lifetime of hell for a lot of people.
There's a thing called cultural responsibility.
Yep.
When you are when and I always deem myself to try to be as culturally responsible as possible, right? So even during the pandemic, as much as I wanted to go out and do things of that nature, I found myself to be culturally responsible, meaning that I'm not going places where there are large parties and X, Y, and Z, because there may be a woman that just saying that is in such alignment with me that she says, well, shit, if Sabrina doing it, then I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
And so I've even there's a lot of things. There's just certain things you don't do when you have children. There's certain things you don't do when you have an audience. There's certain things you don't do when people look up to you. There's just certain things you just don't do. And as God gives you those different gifts in life, whether your audience is just your children, there's like even me, I'll have a glass of wine, and once I have a glass of wine, I get in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
I may have started off driving, but you said once I've had me a glass of wine or two glasses of wine, I get my ass in the passenger seat, because I realize that although I think I can handle it, with my repercussions, there's a little person that's 8 years old that every single decision I make in life affects his existence. And so when you think about that, whether your audience is the audience of one child or your audience is the audience of 10 million, you have to be culturally responsible for those that are looking at you, whether it's your neighbors next door, your people down the street, X, Y, and Z. So that is
no, what you said is very, very important. But you know what the thing is, the difference between what you just said and versus what's been happening is that, in this particular situation, is that you would make a choice to take a drink and to sit in the passenger seat. These women did not have a choice. The choice was taken away from them, right?
Once you were drugged?
Yes. When you're drugged, the choice is then removed from you, and you lose your ability to say yay or to say nay. You lose your ability to consent. You cannot consent if you're intoxicated. You cannot consent if you're drugged. There's no way that you can consent. If someone remove and then in particular, if the person who you're accusing of violating you was the individual that supplied you with the narcotics, that's another layer on top of this that hasn't even been considered yet.
Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen and get back to this. So sad to hear, be victimized in that way. It just doesn't stop with one night. It can turn into a lifetime of pain and addiction, trauma, T.I. and Tiny are destroying people's lives. Let's check on our folks. Let's do the roll call, shall we? Let's do the roll call.
Roll call, it's a roll call. Tune in and let us know what's up with y'all. We want to hear what you got to say. Teacups, turn them up, what you sipping on today. Roll call, it's the roll call.
All right, Cherry, hey, how are you? Mary, pretty lady, Victoria, Luzu, Miss Leah, hey, Miss Leah, not paid by Monique, I see you. Sonia Worthen, hey, Sonia, TLW, how you doing, bro? We miss you. Victoria Space, Gretchen Bonnet, Tony Longstreet, I like that name. Tony Longstreet, Paris, Italy, Skylar Dawn, L. Ford, Last of Dying Breed. Hey, how are you? Letitia, Lucy, Cooking with Miss D, Candy Washington, Cartier's Bennett, Patricia Cluis, Quiana. Hey, Quiana. NJ, I see you. Irish Spirit Eye, shout out to you and welcome to the channel. Elit, Burnt Sugarcane, Mercy Blessings, Zion Israel, Kimmy Nicole, Low Key, Brandy D, M. Shantae, Juanito B. Welcome everyone. You could be anywhere but you're here with us, and we love to see it. Now let's dive into that video. I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit because it's so heavy, you know. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts?
This is different for an attorney to be so vocal. This is different because even with R. Kelly, they haven't been like this. You know, it's been, you know, it hasn't been like the constant social media thing. So this might be a new age way of handling this. It's a little different, or maybe maybe they're doing this in a way to keep attracting attention, or maybe put some more attention on what's going on in Atlanta. It's a little different for me. I've just never seen someone handle something like this way. It's a little different. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. I don't know if Ples has ever seen this before. This is just a little bit different approach.
Mm-hmm. But didn't we see this in the R. Kelly case, though, prior to him being charged? Weren't the victims' families and attorneys fighting and putting R. Kelly constantly on blast, going down to the place he was holding the women hostage and throwing rocks at the window and holding press conferences? This is before he was charged. I think Tyrone Blackburn is an attorney representing these victims, trying to get these people charged. So he's getting the word out. He's doing the press tour. So we kind of did see it. But then after R. Kelly was charged, then we stopped seeing it as much because there was no need for it. You know, he was locked up. He's in Fed custody. Bishop, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on this is it's painting a picture for you almost, and to getting to know that these people are human, because he does not want to release them for the public to be, you know, go at them. So he has to paint a picture to let people know that these victims are real. There's not make believe, and this is not a ploy to take down Tiny and T.I. They really affected someone's life. You know what I mean? And the people around them, they're no longer the same because they're now hooked on substance that could, you know, it's once you get addicted to something, it's pretty much hard to kick it. Because I know about addictions because some of it runs in my family. So that one good time could blow your mind, and it just sets off all your chemicals in your body, and you try to chase that high after a while because now you're trying to cover up a trauma that happened to you. So you're trying to numb the pain. You know what I mean?
Very sad. Ples, what are your thoughts on the victims, you know, how the situation has destroyed their lives, basically?
I'm sorry if their lives have been destroyed, but what I saw in that video, Tyrone Blackburn is not helping them. I need him to cease and desist immediately. He should not be doing lives with Sabrina, of all people. If Sabrina was the initial, hey, you reached out to me, I know a lawyer that can help you, great. That's where his contact with Sabrina should stop. I don't know why he feels the need to let the public know how he met Sabrina. That wasn't a good look. It does not help the people who already think Sabrina is manipulating this matter. I knew when we first saw him that he looked super young, but to hear him say he just passed the bar 2 years ago, sir, you need a professional mentor. I know how it feels to be young, straight out of school. You got a fire underneath you. You're going to change the world. You'll take on cases nobody could ever take, but that is the quickest way people get disbarred. Because in that video that you showed us, he's treading on all types of violations of the professional rules of conduct. And I'm sorry, like, I take my profession seriously. And honestly, I love seeing young Black lawyers, but I need them to understand that book smarts and passing the bar and taking these exams is way different than practice. I feel like some kind of way he feels indebted to Sabrina because she spoke a little life into him, but that's why you need professional mentors. Sabrina is not a lawyer. And the questions that Sabrina was asking you treads heavily on attorney-client privilege. Like you said, Monica, the stuff you saw with R. Kelly, the people were there. So it's different when your client is right beside you and they have given you their permission to say certain things. Even with saying certain things, you don't let out your whole case or everything that's going on, because now this is out there. This can be used to, your own attorney's words can be used to counteract anything that comes into that place. And T.I. and Tiny will have sharks on deck. They're not getting somebody that's been barred for 2 years. They getting somebody that's deep in the game that they are paying probably a $50,000 retainer to $100,000 retainers to, that's charging them $2,500 an hour. Like, they are going to tear this poor young man up. I'm sorry. The judicial canons, and he's not a judge, the judicial canons tell you that you have to avoid even the mere appearance of impropriety. So you're not there, but you should govern yourself still on that level and think about your clients and public perception, how people will see you commiserating on a random social media live with people who funneled her there. It's going to immediately bring in questions of conflict of interest. Just because you refer someone to an attorney does not then give the attorney the right to feed you their information. That's like if you went got in a car accident and your cousin said, oh girl, look, this person got me a good settlement. And then that attorney starts calling your cousin, telling them about your medical records. You can't do that just because she made the introduction. Thank you for the introduction. That's it. Now, for people who are already skeptical of the situation, well, what is Sabrina getting out of it? How much is he going to pay Sabrina? Lawyers are not supposed, sir, and if you forgot the rules, let me remind you, you cannot pay referral fees to non-attorneys. So please don't give Sabrina any money. And if you do, make sure it's cash. Make sure you get it from some other person like Phaedra used to do. Get it from your drug dealers and you ain't even put it in the bank. Because if you put it in the bank and take the cash out, now we got a record of your deposits and your withdrawals. And people can put 2 and 2 together, especially if Sabrina starts showing up with all of this money. What do you mean? How did he tread on a client attorney? He's treading on it. Unless he has confidentiality waivers in all of those files, he should not be talking about specific effects of any client is currently facing.
And that does make sense now that you say that, because wasn't it written that the clients that he have is not we're not on the live with Sabrina? These are other women. Oh, and see, it's making more sense now. She's trying to find out what they're doing.
You can look at the general conversation, but the fact that Sabrina made the introduction is totally inappropriate. And again, Sabrina, Shakana, all these S people tell on themselves. She said, did she go there yet? Did who go where?
Exactly. That
how would you know? So it seemed like, I'm going to make my assumption. It seemed like he may have sent a young lady to therapy or some type of doctor, rehab or something, to justify, hey, once we get into court, we're going to need evidence that you're experiencing these things. So she wants to know, has she been sent there yet? Did she check in for rehab yet? She should not know that. Now, if the client is running back telling Sabrina everything, that's it. That's cool. Which not, because again, they can subpoena Sabrina, and all of this stuff will come out. Like, why? And if you're gonna do it, why are you doing it on a live? You're not helping yourself. You think you're bringing people over to their side, and you're only creating more things for the defense to attack. And I said it before. I firmly believe these victims need to be heard. But doing stuff like this is counterproductive. Take it to the authorities, the people who need to do the investigation. Stop with all the public outreach. The documentary that you did was enough. You can't get in public talking about, client, because it's too easy to say. Now, again, if he has confidentiality waivers, fine. I still think it's a poor move, because you're basically showing your hand. You haven't even gotten to a level where they've been charged. These people going to have a field day with you on discovery, sir. You need to reach out and get you a partner who is more experienced ASAP. Or you're going to lose your law license, because this ain't the way to go.
Yeah. Why don't we share? I'm going to share my screen. I went to Tyrone's website to check out his credentials, and let's see what he's working with. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can all see that. Let me make the screen bigger so everyone can see. Okay. So it says here, Tyrone A. Blackburn is a skilled plaintiff's attorney and tireless advocate who puts people first. Mr. Blackburn's practice focuses on employment and discrimination law, sexual assault and harassment, and medical malpractice. Mr. Blackburn seeks justice for clients who feel victimized by unlawful workplace practices, including misconduct, discrimination, or harassment based on age, disability, gender, pregnancy, or sexual orientation. Some of Mr. Blackburn's notable representations include gender discrimination, sexual harassment, or sexual assault claims against T.I. and Tiny, he put that on there, Fox Rothschild, LLP, and Airbnb. Wage and theft discrimination cases, he sued UPS, several New York hospitals and healthcare institutions, several New York restaurants, Morgan Stanley, well, that's a big one, and Tata Consultancy Services. ADA, right, that age discrimination, I think, / disability.
Americans Disability Act.
Okay, American Disability Act / disability. Okay, Fortune 100 company, but he didn't name the company. His education, he got his undergrad at Brooklyn College. That's a good school. City University of New York, decent. And his JD from Seton Hall University in Newark, New Jersey. Admissions, I guess this is where he can practice law in New York, New Jersey, Eastern District of New York, Southern District. and District of New Jersey. I mean, he's still a new lawyer, but he has some decent cases, you know, it seems. Oh my goodness. I hope he didn't blow it with this live. And
I guess that's what I was trying to say. Even though Lisa Bloom, Gloria Allred, and everybody know that ambulance chases, and we know that they're willing to settle. But there's one thing about them. Women handle law different than men anyway. Men lawyers and women lawyers are different. Just the way they handle things is different. But they're experienced enough to know, like Ples said, anytime that their client has been right there with them, and certain questions when they asked them in that press conference, they didn't give any information that was going to implement the case at all. Oh, no, we can't answer the next question. You know, they didn't give anything. The fact that you're on a live with this same woman who we know, you know, yeah, she's bringing all the information up and she's the one that got the ball rolling. And now you're also supposed to be representing her too. It looks a little sketchy. And like Ples said, she's asking questions that's giving away your case. And this is why the other day I said, I'm not sure if they're even going to get charged, because the way he's handling this, he definitely needs somebody that's seasoned that is going to help him with this, because he's on his way to, instead of winning this, he's going to end up screwing it up.
Yeah. Bishop, what are your thoughts? And you think so? You think he's ruining the case? He's jeopardizing it by going on live? Because it seems like all these attorneys nowadays, that's what they do. They turn to social media.
Yeah, now that it's been put to perspective by Ples, which I'm glad she's on this panel as an attorney, and it now makes sense, you know, why it looks bad. Because at first I'm like, oh, he's painting a picture and this and that, but you are giving away a game plan. You know what I mean? Especially like what Scuba saying, they're not even charged yet. So now you give them an opportunity to actually skate away. You know what I mean? You know, it's just a way where it's looking like a bunch of clownery. And I've been saying for a long time that Sabrina, you know, even though she has a problematic background, I'm glad she got the ball rolling. Now let's get her out the way. You know, but when I found out she still was involved, I'm like, what the world? Like, ma'am, what are you doing? And then when I thought about it, when you had read about it, Monica, like I want to say it was early this week or last week, when you had said that these 11 women are not the women that were on the live with Sabrina. So I'm sitting there thinking like, why Sabrina knows so much about people that she didn't even talk to? So now it's really looking even crazy. Like, you got information on women that you didn't even talk to. So that means the attorney must have been sharing news with you, are having pillow talk with you about these victims, because you don't know these victims. The only ones you know of is the one that called you. And why do they know so much? So it's like, okay, this seems very fishy. And it's almost like, is he doing this on purpose because he's working with Tiny and T.I.? Now it's starting to raise some red flags to me.
Oh my goodness. Let me look into the chat. Natoya Springfield, thank you so much for the super chat. This lawyer is not ready for a case like this, spilling too much of the tea to someone who was allegedly involved in this. Please, victims, find another lawyer. Okay, they're not feeling it in the chat. This does look like a bunch of clownery. This is how he's giving her a referral fee by going live with her exclusively. Interesting point, Miriam. This is how he's giving her a referral fee. So it's an indirect referral fee by going live with her to get clicks and views on her live. Interesting. Okay. Absolutely. It's unprofessional. Yeah. Let me see. Don't need proof. Ninja. Oh my goodness. Okay. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, the consensus seemed to be the same. Let me shout out a few super chats. Laugh, gags, and gossip. Thank you so much for the super chat. Plaz, I think you better call Tyrone. Call him. Selena T, thank you so much for the super chat. It seems like Sabrina is trying to be an ATL advocate, Kim Kardashian. Yeah, she is giving me, she's giving me something of that nature. Yeah. Eve Hamad, thank you so much for the Canadian coin. I am still on all the S people. Stop this plus laugh out loud. What's the S people? What's that?
Oh,
When she said all
probably
the
when I
people telling on each other like Shakana and
Sabrina.
Oh, okay. Yeah. New York City dude, thank you so much for the super chats. Please speak on it. I'm just a 1L, and I know that what he's doing is a no-no. He's treading very close to an ethical violation. Ooh, okay. Well, I hope he stops. I mean, you would think he would know something like this. Moderators, please time out Carson Lynette. What is she doing? I don't see her comments. Is she misbehaving? He needs to fall back from social media. I assume he was taking this info he did already. He's already taken it to the district attorney. He's now just waiting on charges to come. And I'm confident that charges will come. I hope he hasn't.
Monica, when you said he should know. So again, like I said in my comment, I always tell people, medical doctors go to school, they pass their boards, and then they have a wonderful thing called residency. Attorneys don't get that. We go to law school, you study for 2 or 3 months, and you take the bar, and if God and everything you retained is on your side, you pass the first time. If not, you have to keep taking it until you pass. And then I highly always advise people to get a public defender's job, get a big law firm job, like work under somebody first. Because if not, the practice of law, we don't get apprenticeships, I guess that's the word, like how doctors do with the residency, where you get to actually get on the job training and make a few mistakes and all of that stuff, and you're protected under this hospital shield for if you mess up and have malpractice with somebody. It's normal to make mistakes as a new attorney because book learning and actual in-field knowledge and experience are completely different things. They don't teach you how to file a case. You learn the procedural rules, but you got to figure out pleadings and formatting, and different courts have different court rules. There's a lot to learn. The number one reason people get disbarred is lack of communication with clients and commingling funds. And everybody reads the rules and knows that commingling is wrong, but yet everybody still seems to do it most times because you make mistakes. You got your operating account. Then you're supposed to have a separate client trust account for every client that you have.
Right.
Nobody's money is supposed to mix. So it's easy to make mistakes like that. But when you don't have that safety net of working for somebody else, it's just like any other entrepreneur, right? You're ambitious and you want to take cases and you want to make a name for yourself. So you end up taking on so much, you can't even return people's calls by the end of the week. And then stuff falls off and you start missing deadlines. Or in this case, you start running your mouth. Like things happen. And so, like I said, if he wants to hang his own shingle, that's what it's called, go for it. But you need a mentor. And especially with a case like this, don't get greedy. Money will come from it. You need somebody, you're going to have to split that money. Because if not, you're going to go the way you're going. No.
Simone Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. Please, the victims do not need a lawyer if the state picks up the case, right? The DEA will be their attorney. So what is Tyrone's role? Civil damages?
I mean, we said that right from the beginning. They're saying that that's not what it's for, but yes, that is the ultimate play. Right now, it appears to be he's working to consolidate the case, not consolidate, but bring victims forth, give them a safe place to be their advocate to say, hey, I got a group of people. It's not just one girl here, one girl there. I got a group of them. Y'all have to pay attention to this. So that's a good thing. But yes, ultimately, if it went to a criminal level, the local DAs would be the ones to take it, which is why it is fine for him to only be barred in New York. When it gets to those civil cases, as I've said before, criminal has a higher threshold that you have to meet, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Whereas in civil cases, it's only proof by preponderance of the evidence. So a lot of people will go criminal first because that's what they tried to do with OJ, right? If you have a conviction, then a judge or a jury has already heard all of the evidence and decided that you're guilty. So that means once we get to civil court, it's much easier to convince the judge or the jury there that you did it. It's like for people who watch like court TV, like Judge Mathis, people will come in and sue like if they got into a fight and they say, oh, she wrongfully had me wrongfully arrested. She said I don't know, attempted to stab her and it was thrown out. And then when Judge Mathis gets the papers, he's like, ma'am, it says here you pled to misdemeanor assault. And they're like, yeah, it was thrown out. No, you took a plea deal, which reduced your charges, made it a misdemeanor instead of a felony, but that is guilt. So then he pretty much gives the other person the money that they're asking for from the assault that the person admitted to. So criminal is the bar because then it makes civil easier. Did I explain it right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that makes total sense. That's why I'm just like, okay, so you at the end of the day, you still gonna want something civil, but you're gonna want that criminal first, and then later come back to that civil. But I still say that he's going about it the wrong. I don't know, just something. It's just going about it the wrong way for me.
He was doing good initially. This little live was not the business, so I need him to cease and desist on that. Also, again, if you're trying to get the people who make the decisions, why was Sabrina Peterson's live part of the strategy? These people don't watch Sabrina Peterson's live. Like that's not the way you go. And again, I think it's probably just his age. A lot of people, I saw somebody in the comments, one of the comments that popped up saying he could be a new age attorney. Baby, them rules don't change. You can be new age. Those professional rules of conduct that you have to pass, they don't change. They haven't changed since the 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, I don't know, but they've been there for a long time. So
someone asked in the comments, if the district attorney picks up the case, will any of Tyrone's comments even matter necessarily? Will it affect the criminal case because he's not the one defending the women? It's the DA.
Absolutely, it'll affect their defense attorneys will take everything because ultimately these were ladies that if those are the same ladies that become the named victims in the state's case, and they can put two and two together, like Sabrina saying, did she go yet? Somebody somewhere can pick apart, or they'll call her into a deposition or subpoena her to say, who was she? Who are you referring to? When you expose yourself like that and people know this person knows, that person knows. That's why attorneys will tell you, you can't get on the phone when you in jail with Pook and them and talk to your cousin and think you talking in code word. They record those calls. Anything you say to any other person violates privilege. If another person is in the room, privilege is broken. They can subpoena the other person. They don't have to subpoena your attorney. And if we get on the stand, then we're swearing to tell the truth and we're not committing perjury. So you have to be really tight when you are interviewing your clients and having interviews with other people. That's why most attorneys you see when they do these interviews, Gail has done a lot of them, for instance, with the girl with the coffee stuff, or her cell phone thing in New York. Her attorney kept telling her to shut up. Don't refer to certain things. And then even when Gail would ask the attorney questions, the attorney would say, I'm not going to answer that. I've instructed my client not to answer that. You don't just, and so the issue is somebody could subpoena that footage from Instagram, and now they have something to pull apart while they prepare for depositions. If you hadn't done it, it wouldn't be there.
Right.
All it is more attempts to poke holes in your stories, and especially when this type of case is already such a he said, she said thing, why give them something else to pull apart?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you for the reminder, Dalvin. Yes, we have more than 4,000 teacups in the chat, in the live. Please hit that like button. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Should we take some calls? Why don't we take some calls? Get everyone's point of view in here. I'm pretty sure people have a lot to say. I'm dropping the link.
Ooh, that was a lot, players. I done learned a lot. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I did too. Shoot, even though I got a case too right now, but you know my attorney, you know, well that's different. You know my attorney wasn't like that. He's seasoned, he's Jewish, so it's different.
Oh yeah, that see. I hate to just say this about that, but it's true.
But he might as well go on and get a partner now, because to whoever asked that question's point, if he decides to take it civil, he will have to have somebody who can practice in Georgia, or he'll have to seek for permission, special permission to practice for that case. I don't know how tight those rules are in Georgia, but he will have to seek special permission to bring any civil suits in. I think he said the victims were in LA and in Georgia. So he's not barred in any of those places. So he's either going to have to ride under somebody else's bar, a partner, or he's going to have to apply to the respective courts in that area to get special permission to practice there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, PC, Victoria Space.
Hey.
So much for the super chat, Victoria. Attorney-client privilege. Yes. Chocolate Padilla, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you. Nef Africa, thank you so much for the super chat. RHOA Candy Burris, overreaction to the allegations years ago. Make me think maybe there's something there. Just saying. Maybe, might be. Manifest Our Destiny, thank you so much for the super chat. See the game? Convict the blacks so public can see it's them. In reality, it's a religion of the elites, predominantly white, that do this on a regular. The behavior is their religion. They worship the green man in the Bible. Interesting perspective. PC, how you doing tonight?
Finding you?
Yeah, doing well.
I've been waiting for this to come. I knew it was coming about the whole drugs and it affecting people. I've been waiting for it because, like, I take psych meds or whatever, and one day they had to take me to the hospital stuff, heart palpitations and different things, and this is prescribed. You don't know what people are taking if they have to take something, and you don't know what their mental state is. And then you drugging them and they don't know? Come on now. But wait, right quick. Don't the attorney look like the what is it? Junior Bedville from Cool Runnings? Cool Runnings? Pride, power. I'm sorry, I had to throw that one out. But oh crap. I'm waiting for the bodies. I'm waiting for the bodies to pop out. There has to be some bodies, because you can't put drugs in people's drinks. You know, you can't drug people and you don't know what's going on with them. So I'm waiting for the body to drop. And hopefully I'm really hoping and praying for these girls to get help and get off of these, drugs, get a good doctor who can work with them, and a good support group. They need all of it, because it sounds like they were dealing with some top level, high level stuff over there. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got me. I didn't know I was gonna be the first one. The first one picked. I wasn't ready.
It's okay, my love. You have a great evening. I mean, you made a good point about this was coming out.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. Very, very sad situation. Yeah. Yep. You have a good evening. Bye. Bye. Take care. Bye. Poised Nostalgist, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Happy Friday. Thank you to Monica and the panel for your faithfulness every night to hang with us and have great conversations. Question: if the criminal agencies decide not to proceed with any criminal case, how much will that impact their civil case? You're on mute, please.
It'll just be a free-for-all in civil court. They can still bring the case, but it's much easier to prove a case when you have a criminal conviction. This will just be them trying to prove up whatever damages they are alleging. Hopefully he is sending the girls to get therapy and to psychologists who can speak to their mental health, where their issues came from, what medications they now have to be on, if they've been in rehab, all of those types of things. You build a case. It's the same way you would build a physical injury case by sending somebody to a chiropractor. But it's going to be hard. It is going to be lots of character witnesses on both parts. They're going to bring in people who contradict everything that the victims say. They are going to thoroughly go into the background of the victims. This is why the R word and assault cases are very hard. Attorneys will go back to the first person you had sex with to develop a pattern of what you do. If you ever accused anyone else prior of any type of assault, that's coming in. Anything that they can do to win. The game is to win. So we may not agree morally with with people's tactics on how they win, but as long as you are within those rules, you're within them. And character is a big part of these types of cases, on both sides. Just like you're going at somebody's character, they can go at yours. So
yeah. TLW, I believe Michael Avenatti is in prison for fraud.
Yes, sir. So. For fraud and Nike. He's not even on the streets.
And tax fraud too, and payroll fraud. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, let me see. Leslie. Hey, Leslie. Hi. How you doing?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Just want to be very quick. I don't want to take up anybody's time. I just want to say thank you to this panel. Blessings to all of you. Blessings to everyone in the chat. Even if we agree or we agree to disagree, whatever. This is a topic that I could just tell you it's triggering for me. I've been a survivor since my first experience happened when I was 5. Another experience, yes, at the daycare, and it was a family member who did it. My second time was when I was a teenager, and my third time was when I was in college. I can tell you the first time when I told my story to a person in my family, they did not believe me. I don't know if it's because of the timing when I brought it up. They, thought I was lying. But a couple of years later after, I told this person again, and they just started breaking down crying. And I said, I said, if you had believed me the first time, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And they were like, well, why didn't you tell me when you were little? I'm like, I didn't want to get in trouble. That's the thing. But I have to say this. I never liked T.I. Like the music, I twerked to it, bumped to it, did a couple of splits, I jammed to it. But to be perfectly honest, there was always something about him I did not like. So I always separated the music from, the person. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but Tiny really does look like frozen pork. Like, I'm not even joking with you. Like, she's been playing with her face. And I used to feel so sorry for her. She was a beautiful, beautiful young lady. And I think this whole situation, I think is sad, but it's not too far-fetched. I mean, look at, you have all these celebrities coming out talking about how they like to have threesomes and how they like to do this and that and everything like that. So I just think this situation is sad. It's disgusting. It's unfortunate. And before we are quick to judge and say anything about these victims, I know a lot of people in this chat have been a victim and would have loved for someone to believe them when they tell their story. So I think we should just, wait and see. But I just want to say thank y'all for letting me come on here and chat. Y'all are a blessing. Like, honestly, I don't even watch TV anymore at night because of y'all. I don't even know why I keep it. Wow. So entertaining. And my daughter would like to say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Beautiful. How are you?
Pretty girl.
Leslie, I am so sorry for all the things that you have gone through. The lady I see before me today is beautiful, confident, and a blessing. You're very spirited. I could feel your spirit through the computer screen.
Thank you.
It's by the grace of God, that He brought you through this, and that you can share it with us tonight. Stay safe, my love, and protect your baby, your beautiful baby.
Oh, trust me, she goes nowhere unless I'm there. And that's not just so much because of what happened to me. This is my one and only. I had her when I'm in my 30s. I'm in my late 30s. I had her, after being established, everything like that. Here's my one and only. I can't go through that again. Pregnancy, but no, she's well guarded, and I stay prayed up. And I'm still getting my concealed license.
Good for you,
in Massachusetts.
Yes.
So
very good.
But no, blessings to all of you. And I would like to say real quick off of subject, please tell me, and you agree that Martell from Marriage and Love and Marriage Huntsville really does look like a lemonhead demon. Please don't. Just a lemon head demon.
Girl.
I saw that recent picture of him today, and it was just like, what is he doing? Is he on the roids or what's he is big swole.
He is. That picture scared me. I started thinking about Monica talking about how he makes up for what he lacks. I was like, I don't think I would want that with them thighs. He gonna squish your head together.
Yeah. I mean, the man don't wear clothes that fit. I mean, you're not working with much. I mean, the tongue, but come on.
Like Marceau said, he'll pick anything tight just to wear it.
Oh, whatever. Marceau got a pepperoni face pizza, so it is what it is. But no, I'm sorry. I just had to bring that up because I was the one who wrote that.
Did you? He does look like that.
What I wanted to say was, do y'all remember that 80s movie, Mac and Me? He looks like an alien. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Y'all have a lovely night.
Thank you.
All right, you too.
Stay blessed. She's such a sweetheart.
Now that makes sense.
Sweetheart.
That makes sense now. That's probably why Martell is losing it. Like Melody don't remember him because steroids does mess with your psyche.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
So he's probably losing it because of that stuff. He probably started taking it 6 years ago. And he probably had to, probably got that horny goat weed and start cheating and all that other stuff and losing his mind to where he doesn't rationalize things.
Yeah,
I've seen people on them roids up in the Planet Fitness up in the gym. I seen two dudes about to box each other out over the weights. I'm like, man, just calm down. Like,
my homeboy was losing it for a moment. He stopped taking them, but he for a moment he started really losing it. Like, bro, you overcompensating. You kind of going crazy at work. But luckily he got off of it, and he's now more stable, and he's in a long-term relationship. So
That's
good thing for him. But he was losing it.
It does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, it erodes your brain.
Yeah.
Martell is a mess. Him and his big old thighs, like Ples said, it's like a nutcracker, it'll crack your neck.
Exactly. I was like, well, if that's you've been working with that for the last 5 years, I wouldn't get down there either if it was melody. It'll get too good, and then my head gone.
Oh Lord.
Just swolls me to death. Swolls me to death.
Shout out to Marcella in the chat. Hey, Marcella.
Hey, Marcella.
So Debonair, our Teacup affiliates. Hey, So Debonair. And shout out to the mods, too, that be holding it down, okay?
Yes.
Listen, our haters, our biggest fans, right? The haters.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They are a disgruntled fan base.
Oh my gosh, they show out in the chat, and people always say the chat is lit, and I have to go back and watch. It's like, huh? What did I miss? Hey, Miss Kearney. Hey, Miss Bronx.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
Good. Did you see the highlights?
Yes, normally y'all catch me after the shower, but it's Friday, so I'm not going to bed.
Oh, okay. You might want to stay up on after hours.
It's New York. Everything is closed. Everything is closed. Yeah, so this is normally I get here and then I say some crazy stuff, but this is more of a serious topic. And I just have a lot of concerns in regards to this, because I'm just like, have these victims filed a police report yet?
We don't know. We don't know the particulars.
Yeah, we don't know the particulars. And then it's also, what is the statute of limitation of Georgia, right? I don't know too much about law, but I do know Law TV, right? So I see SVU, I seen like How to Get Away with Murder. So I'm like, Tia and Tiny's gonna get themselves their own little Annalise Keene. And it's just like, this lawyer, I don't know. I just find it suspect that he already put the case up on his website. It's like, bro, you didn't even do nothing yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that just made me just question the rest of the other things that he listed, because I'm like, did you really do that, or are you in the process of doing that? Notes, because I didn't want to forget. Oh, I did write this though. I'm like, listen, we gotta fire Tyrone and hire Ples, because I understood you more than what he was talking about. And
yeah, right.
So messy to me. You know what I'm saying? And although he's bringing awareness, it's like, what's your angle? Like, what's your end goal, really? And then also, where was I? I always find it strange when people sign those NDAs, because I just feel like sometimes people with money, they use the judicial system to their advantage. So it's just like you preying on people that don't know the law, don't have money to follow up with lawyers, and then you having them sign these deals, you're intoxicating them. So none of the stuff is valid. And then it kind of doesn't help that our culture does a lot of victim shaming. So if there are more victims, they don't feel comfortable to come out to say anything, and that's the sad part. And a lot of people are very desensitized, so it's just like, these people are like, moms, sisters, you know what I mean, mothers, sisters, cousins. It's like, it could be somebody in your family we don't even know. And just us having this conversation at the end of the day is just like, well, you didn't even believe the people on TV, so why would I sell you? So that's where I'm at with it, but I'm still watching. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thanks so much. I'll be that, trolling if anything.
Okay, my love.
All right. See you, Miss.
Let's add Lulu to the. Hey, Lulu. Are you
I would get a different attorney. If I was anybody else, I would get somebody else.
Is that your internet that's stuck, Lulu?
Yeah, it's freezing.
It's freezing.
Oh, are you okay? Okay, I think it's freezing. JC, if you want to get on, my love, you have to turn your camera on. Yeah. Let me see if I can bring her back. Is it working now? Is that your internet? Okay. All right. Princess, are you calling in, my love? Oh my goodness, y'all. This is just, the rabbit hole keeps getting deeper and deeper.
Nah, if I was a victim, I would not be calling him. I'd be calling somebody else with more experience. I mean, it's just, he's not, I understand where he's going and what he's trying to do, but he definitely needs a partner. He needs a couple of people to help him. This is, I think this is out of his reach.
A whole team. He needs a team. Yeah. Robin, thank you so much for the super chat. The Bible says, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. You must use wisdom. And if you don't know, then ask somebody, sir. Yeah, right. I agree with you. Leslie Kennedy, thank you so much for the super chat. Blessings to the panel for discussing this. This ferret and frozen pork face lady need to be exposed. All jokes aside, this is just sad. It is. It really is very, very sad. Yes, I agree with you.
Yes, shout out to my Chicken Express cup. They do got some good sweet teas, like crack. That's good. Somebody was saying in the chat with Chicken Express.
Frankie, thank you so much for the super chat. If you can't donate, at least hit the like button to show some love. The victims need their own lawyers. Otherwise, it looks like a finesse. Good point. Good point. And thank you so much for the super chat. We're not doing the After Dark this Friday, but we'll do it next Friday. And Bishop is doing, what are you doing, Bishop, after this?
I'm doing lounge talk. So you can come to the intimacy lounge on The Bishop on my channel. So, come on over there after this show. We're going to start at 9:00 Pacific Standard Time, and that will be 11 o'clock Central Time and 12 a.m. on the East Coast time.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much for the super chat. It feels like they're seeing each other sexually. You mean the lawyer and Sabrina?
Pillow talk. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It could be. I think Sabrina is manipulating and finessing the crap out of that young man. I just need him to get somebody. I don't even know why he's taking guidance from a non-lawyer.
Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. New York City dude, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Marcella, thank you so much for the super chat. We love and appreciate you. Sharon Newhouse, thank you for the super chat. Bloom needs to lead this case. What do you guys think? Should Lisa Bloom take over and lead all the victims in the case?
No.
No.
I think she should do the civil portion with the money. But as far as the criminal, now somebody else.
Right.
Her and her mama is good at, her and Gloria is good at that civil part, but you need a good, Johnny Cochran dead, but we need somebody like a Johnny Cochran to go on and get involved in this, because he's not, I'm scared. I'm telling you, I'm scared. I'm scared they're gonna get off, because I don't trust him now.
I would get some seasoned black men and women who have been in the game for a moment, and I'll give me a few Jewish attorneys who've been there for ancient years. All together, a dream team. I'm serious. And if I was a chick that actually finally found out there was other women that I know of, I would say in your state, you get the best over there, I'll get the best over here. We all try to get the best and make this work, true. Because I'm sorry, Junior. After players broke that down, Junior is messing up.
He need to call Kim Kardashian and get them women down here in Texas that's getting these. He needs some guidance from some seasoned people. I'm afraid that he's gonna fumble this really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we said, all he's doing is trying to bring the awareness and the attention, but he does need, like, again, a mentor, maybe a retired prosecutor, a former prosecutor who has the influence and knows how to build the victim stories and put them together to grab the attention of the appropriate DA, ADA, federal prosecutor, whatever you're trying to do. But, going on social media ain't it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he has those cases listed on his website, but did he actually win them? What's the status of it? It's one thing to take a case on, but what was the final verdict? Did you win? The world's greatest entertainer. Hey, boo, how you doing?
What's good?
Hey. Did you move them lights in the back? They're hung a little differently.
No, they're still the same. I haven't done anything to them recently.
Did you add more lights?
No, it's the same lighting.
Okay, baby. So how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and you all?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Ooh.
What are you talking?
Well, now this is how I feel. If you try a big case, because this is like, it almost allowed to be like the biggest case of the century when it comes down to all these allegations. Even though he is a young lawyer, he still has to watch what he does, because this is, like I said, this is the first time he ever had a big case like this. And if you're going on social media, Instagram at that, talking to Sabrina, the woman who laid the foundations of this case, if you're talking about personal information about the victims or whatever happened to those victims, that technically can be used against you. Because even though I'm not a lawyer, but I do know that there is attorney-client privileges where you cannot talk about a case, especially when it comes to social media. If they keep going on with this could end up really hurting their case, and the victims really won't even be heard.
That's true. If he does another video, I'm convinced he worked with T.I. and Tiny to play the offense and the defense. I'm sorry. I'm really gonna believe that if he does another one. But if he does, I'm convinced, because people are smart.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
He needs to separate himself from Sabrina. I'm sorry. There needs to be a line between that, because that's not a good look.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, he already, when he first did the first press conference and said he was representing her in a separate defamation claim, it was like, too close. But this, no, sir. No, sir.
He needs to work. I would say he needs to work with someone who's more experienced and can actually show him how to do the ropes, especially when it comes to this particular case, because he don't need to be doing this type of case by himself so early on when he just got his license, because this is about to mess him up big time.
World's greatest entertainer, thank you so much for calling in tonight, my love. You have a good evening.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Bye. Andrew, you got to turn your camera on if you want to get on here. I am going to bring Victoria on. Hey, Victoria.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say, I think that Sabrina, she wants some brownie points for this. Definitely. She wants some brownie points because she's just like, she brought the case to fruition, but she's still engaged in it, and she knows a little too much, and she's staying too involved, and she wants something out of it. She definitely wants something out of it, and she shouldn't be involved at this point. She should be like really out of it at this point. So I think there's more to it, to the story. She wants something out of it. Recognition, whatever the case may be. She wants to be seen. She wants to be known. So And I think that she was whatever was going on between T.I. and Tiny and whatever they were doing, she was definitely involved. And she got pissed off, and that's why she brought them down. So that's just how I feel about it. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Thank you for calling in, and I agree with you on a lot of those points that you made.
You're welcome.
You have a good evening.
You guys too.
Bye-bye. I am going to bring Lulu. You all ready now?
I hope. Ah! Can you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see you now. You're good.
Oh,
Yes.
First of all, okay, so I'm drinking. Let me tell you, I worked last night. I got off at 7 this morning, and then I think I went to the bathroom and I saw when you posted, I was like, oh, I gotta wake up. But I love you guys. I want to start with that. I'm new to this, so
we love you too.
Yeah, it's a well-rounded panel. I mean, just different perspectives from different walks of life, and I love it. But I have to say, my favorite is Plans. I'm sorry, but I love you.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, girl. When you were talking about the loans and stuff, I was like, okay, I'll do that because I'm in grad school. So, but anyways, I'm so excited. Thanks, Monica. You're so sweet. I've sent you a message on Instagram and you respond. You're very approachable. I don't know.
Thank you.
I think you're my best friend in my head. But yeah, this whole T.I. thing, first of all, that lawyer, I think I wrote that in the chat. He reminds me of Michael. What's his name? Michael Avenatti. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Just messed up the whole case with Stormy Daniels by going in every station talking for no reason. And yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a nurse by profession, but I knew that you can't be out there pretty much snitching on yourself, talking about and then not only that, why have that woman, Sabrina, because I think that she's complicit in everything. I feel like she is vindictive of T.I. and Tiny. She well, according to Shakana, like Bishop says, she went over there and recruited whoever as well. So when things went sour, she felt that, she should turn on them. So I just feel like she's just hurt and very vindictive. Why would you have her be interviewing you? I don't understand that. I really don't. The first time you did the video with him saying the charges and not giving out the what do you call them, the victims' names or the survivors' names, I was like, okay, he got it. But then why? This is these people need to pay for what they did, and now you're just giving the case away and messing everything up. So a mess, a hot mess. Everything he's doing, just a hot mess. But that's why I gotta say, I'm sure you got a lot of people waiting. But thanks. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm just like.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey,
Marcella.
How are y'all tonight?
Good. How are you?
I had to take my mask off.
All right now.
I don't have on the 1900 lipstick tonight. I have on the
whatever it is you are wearing it, sis. It's pretty. It matches your skin very well.
Well, let me say this. Plaz, I got a question to ask you. Do Tyrone have the ability to give Sabrina immunity?
No.
Because she is complicit in everything. Matter of fact, she was the go-getter to get them to get hitter by T.I. and Tiny.
Yeah, if they brought it to a criminal place and somebody tried to allege that she was complicit, and then she hired him to represent her against those accusations, he could try to negotiate with the prosecutor to get her immunity in exchange for her testimony, but he can't grant it. The only people that can grant immunity are the state's, employees or federal employees, whoever is negotiating on behalf of whoever brings these charges.
And when I saw them speaking tonight, I was like, he was saying, for your 172 watchers on your page, and it made me think that maybe he might be hitting it. He done already stepped across the line because of some of the things that they were saying, allegedly.
Well, it shows you the number, Marcella, when you're live. It shows you the number of people on the live, though.
But he said it. The way he was speaking is just not the way my attorneys would speak to me. He was a little bit more. Yeah, he was a little bit more. Sabrina helped me. She gave me the confidence.
Yes.
I sat right across from her.
I said
across from her at the table, and she was intelligent. I was like, this dude sounds like Abernathy. He's gonna be next to Abernathy. He's not doing a good job.
I'm saying, as a man, that's what I kept saying. It's like pillow talk.
Yeah.
He slapped them skins at least a few times.
Or maybe he has a crush on her or something. It was very odd. She built the confidence into me as a Black man that I needed. Like, okay.
Yeah, he feels indebted to her.
How will he feel if these cases don't do well? Because I'm serious, players. He got a big toe on the line of crossing the line.
I said it. He is treading very close.
Yeah,
very close.
Marcella, you look beautiful.
Huh?
You look beautiful tonight. Are you staying in or are you going out?
I got on my pajamas. Matter of fact, I had to cover up myself because I didn't want y'all to see my razor.
Hang out on the backstage. Marcella, hang out on the backstage.
I got razors.
I'm going to bring you back on, okay? Hang out in the backstage. Okay. I want to bring on Abstract Oracle because she's been waiting quite a while. Ron Allen, thank you so much for the super chat. Statute of limitations in Georgia for violent crimes is 7 years, while rape has a special 15-year exception. Thank you for that knowledge. Hi, good evening, Abstract.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Hi.
I just wanted to really it was very confusing for me to watch this because it made me wonder, okay, why not do a press conference? If you were going to do something like this, you could, the news, my brother works for the news. They're always looking for stories. So you could have called the local news and actually had a professional interview or a professional press conference. Having her, who's not even a part of this case, and she has a case against them, it just already seems like Ples was saying, you're kind of towing the line a little bit, it looks a little suspect, and it's you don't want to do anything to put these cases in jeopardy because this is serious, and it's and you're putting this, being careless and inexperienced is really showing in how you're doing things. It's this is not cool, sir. You might hold on. And I know Sabrina's your friend and all, but sometimes your friends can get you in trouble, so you should be really careful because she doesn't know anything. She's not the lawyer. She really doesn't have anything to lose here in this particular situation. It would be you. It just seemed rather weird to me. And I'm wondering too, if does Sabrina have some political aspirations, because it seems like she's trying to clean up this image that she has had in the past. And there's supposed to be some kind of connection with the lady who was running against Keisha Bottoms. And, so it's kind of everything is coming a little convoluted, it's okay. And if you haven't pressed formal charges or there's nothing that has been do you even have a case yet? I don't know. It just seems rather strange to me. You're going to the public opinion and looking to have a case there, but you haven't really done all of the legalities that need to put this in place to safeguard winning your case. I'm just confused by that. So that was just all I wanted to say about it.
So confusing at this point, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's not making any sense. Like, why would you do that? Like,
I don't know.
I'm not a lawyer. I have a doctorate, but I'm not a lawyer. But I do know, hey, there's conflict of interest here. There's certain things going on that just are kind of common sense. If you watch Law and Order, you should know certain stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah,
simple stuff. So you know, but that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys. I love you guys.
I love the painting behind you.
Oh,
the paintings.
I did those. So.
I thought so because it's an abstract oracle. I kind of figured you was a painter.
Yes.
Very talented. You have a lovely evening. Thank you.
All right, y'all too. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, bye-bye. I'm going to bring Hockey on here. Hi, Hockey.
Hi. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You know what I was actually thinking, because the way Sabrina is, she's not credible. A lot of the things that they said about the victims, they were the same stories that Sabrina first told. So I wonder if he doesn't have any evidence and he's just doing this because of Sabrina. Because remember he said supposedly they wanted to settle?
No, he says he's seeking a criminal case and he's gathered and collected evidence from all the victims and sent it off to the DAs in California and Georgia. And I also think New York too. Some stuff happened there.
Yeah, is there a way people can find out if he actually did that?
Well, I mean, I know the New York Times did confirm that the Georgia state's attorney did receive a package from him. So that was confirmed.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better because, you know, this is getting so crazy. And the fact he did that weird thing with Sabrina again, that just like broke my heart, you know?
Yeah.
Because these are people's like, I mean, I've been a victim before too, and I couldn't imagine. One lesson I hope everyone learns is be really careful when you're on social media and what you say.
Yeah.
Especially if you ever, you know, end up becoming a victim or want to help a victim, you have to be really mindful with your words because everything you say can and will be used against you.
That's true. Absolutely.
You know? But I love you guys' show, and I just wanted to call in and thank you. That makes me feel a little better about him, you know?
We're on top of it.
I like that shirt.
Night,
I like that shirt.
Okay.
She don't play. But you know, like Ples educated us tonight. I really hope he hasn't perjured himself in any sort of way or jeopardized this case. I'm just like, oh, why did he do that? You know, Helene,
Monica. Oh,
sorry.
You can go.
Helene, thank you so much for the super chat. How would that case be handled for the young lady that was in the military when she was sexually assaulted in California?
He would have to send it to somebody in California. If it's criminal, he has to send it to the California authorities to investigate and decide if they're going to bring charges about it. If he's trying a civil case, he has to partner with Lisa Bloom or somebody who's, you know, licensed in California. Or some states will allow attorneys to come in and try, you know, one or two cases, but you have to get special written permission from usually the Supreme Court in that state. One thing I was going to say, in the different types of law that I've practiced, mainly civil and housing law, the feds are watching. They watch everything. So, you know, this can delegitimize his claims, even if a federal prosecutor was considering to take the case. They look at the whole landscape of things that are out there. When I would represent people in housing cases, right, we have somebody who's about to get put out of their Section 8 housing because they violated some of the rules. What rule did they violate, officer? Oh, they were running a business doing hair out of their Section 8 subsidized home. No, and the client, no, I'm not. Exhibit A, Instagram ad advertising for braids and sew-in weaves. Exhibit B, you actually doing the hair with this decor in the background. Exhibit C, the decor of your house when we did our last inspection. Like, y'all, like, stop telling on yourselves. If you go to the tax lady and the tax lady say, oh, I know you told the housing people you don't get no money. you got zero income, but when I do your taxes, you can have up to $15,000 in self-reported income. So we're gonna put that down, and you just sign a return. You know, you get this big $8,000 return. The government speaks to each other. So what you told the housing people, what you told the IRS, what you told them people to get them food stamps, they all have a thing called the ETV report. EFV, electronic funds verification. And so it compares everything that you've reported to each federal agency, and you get kicked off of your assistance. So if they doing that to little people, to the common people, they got eyes. You know, and this only serves to kind of water down, and I hate it, because I do believe that some of the victims, you know, are legitimate. There might be a few that's lying, but I believe, and at the very least, even I just believe it should be investigated, and it should be given a fair investigation. And he's lowering the chances that they get that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Plez. Well said. Sun Kiss, thank you so much for the super chat. Schoolboy always looks like she's over it. Love you guys. I don't see that. Schoolboy knows faces.
No, it's just with Plez was talking about that housing fraud. Yeah, I've seen people get kicked off for how, you know, that's why we keep saying people need to be cognizant of what you put on the internet, especially when you're dealing with these government entities. You know, I was in the military. They watch everything.
Oh, you was in the military?
Run the social media too much. It's ridiculous.
What?
Don't tell your business. Don't tell your business on social media, because you don't know who watching. And now jobs now are reflecting so much on what you put on social media. You mess around, not get a job.
That's why my Facebook is gone.
Yeah, mine's too. And you know what? When you live in public housing or you're on Section 8, go rent you a room someplace and braid the hair or do the nails. Because let me tell you something, you mess up someone's braids and the first thing they're going to do is go snitch on you. So stop, please. Use common sense. Marcella, my love, thank you so much for the super chat. My question, how can you prove these victims were not already on drugs before T.I. and Tiny? I guess rehab receipts kind of thing.
It's just a discovery thing, but like I said, their attorneys are gonna go deep into the background, honey. So you know you got to get ready for all of your medical reports to come out. They go find your best friend from high school and pay them a little money to say you've been doing lines in the bathroom since y'all was 15. You know, it's hard.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring Levon on. Hey, Levon.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are
Doing
you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Well, Plez, I agree with everything that you just said 5 minutes ago. I was literally gonna parrot you. I believe in the court system. You know, with this specific case, it's been very scary. It's been very intense, and every day, it's something new. And I see myself somewhere in the middle, because not only do I value my sexuality and my body as something, you know, as the most important thing in the world. So when I hear about these kind of things happening, I get very sensitive. But on the other hand, I've also dated a celebrity who was lied on and had his whole career destroyed because of it. So when I first heard this, I was like, oh, okay, well, I know this guy personally, and I know, I dated him. I know these other guys dated him, and they're lying because I know him, and he's not doing these things. However, with T.I.'s cases specifically, they all sort of added up, and these people who don't know each other are all saying the same exact thing. So that sort of made me believe, like I said before, that he is somebody who is sexually insane. You know, somebody who is going above the deep end, somebody who is a cult leader, somebody who exhibits the behavior of a narcissist who thinks he is Atlanta's savior, you know, the savior to Black people in general, you know, thinks he could just do whatever he wants because he is, you know, a godsend. That's who this man really comes across to me. As far as, you know, when it comes to the lawyer, I really feel like maybe his tactic may have been to, I guess, sort of scare T.I. or sort of make some sort of public statement saying this is what we have, which I agree with you, Pez, which is a very foolish move, unless you have a lot more, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So unless you have a whole Monique-style binder of receipts, there's no reason why you should be unleashing what you have, because real gangsters move in silence. So if you have what you have, don't say nothing until it's time to pull out that binder and be like, oh, Andy Cohen, so you want to see this? You want to read this? Whatever it is. No, I did not. Just I did not. But if this is not the lawyer's tactic, if he does not have anything more than what he just did was a total chase of clout, he may be trying to become a celebrity lawyer. He may be trying to get his name out there, and may be, someone of this Lisa Bloom type character. Why else go straight to social media? So far, so on. Plez, you said something. I'm obviously not a lawyer, but I've worked in a few lawyers' offices where I'm a writer and I've written for them. And I've seen a lot of, you're right, these young lawyers who just get out and they're ready to just like look for the biggest case. And they're so excited and they're very smart, but, not experienced, and should maybe just wait a little bit. So it kind of seems like he might be just looking for his namesake. And I hate to see that he's doing it at the cost of these alleged victims, because I do believe that there are, at least some of them are telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Good points, Lavon.
Thank you.
Very good points, my love. Thank you for calling in tonight.
Oh, wait.
Kisses and hugs to you. Bye. Bye. I'm going to add Dr. EVA to the chat. Hey, Dr. EVA.
Hey.
You're beautiful. I love the lipstick.
Hey. You know my inspiration.
Yeah.
Hey.
Absolutely.
And you wear it well.
Oh, thank you. I missed you guys, and you know what? Just kudos.
We missed you last night.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. She was in the chat. I was hoping she would call in.
I am so sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've been charting.
Yeah.
I'm busy. Yeah, you know.
Booked and busy.
Booked and busy. But you guys, I was so tired last night, and then today I was so tired. But I'm like, no, I have to call in. You know what? I have to just say thank you to all of you guys for bringing these important topics on, and also just going through this. Like, the analysis is just phenomenal, and from a healthcare perspective, it's so important because sometimes awareness is the best prevention. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With this whole T.I. and Tiny thing and these victims, alleged victims, I wish them well. I will say, you know what, I think everyone, men and women included, should really have a strong spiritual practice. Mm-hmm. Because, okay, let me just say this. Have you guys heard of the statistic that for women, about 1 in 3 women will unfortunately be a victim of some sort of sexual trauma? Okay. And honestly, most of the time, it's not from strangers, it's from people we know. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think we can forget that. Now, remember, just, respect is, you have to earn respect. You have to people have to earn time with you. People have to earn being in a space with you. And I think that comes back to like a self-worth and self-esteem issue. Sometimes it's just, we don't know. We're young and, things happen. But unfortunately, as women, as we, get older, men, as we get older, that's a privilege to be in your presence, to spend time with you, to be around you. So we also have to protect our space and also our emotional space as well. No one should have
complete access to your mind, your body. That has to be earned and demonstrated over time. And that's a learned behavior. Sometimes we're not taught that. We learn that through adulthood. Does what I'm saying make sense?
100%. I talked about that last night. What you saying?
It's a boundary you have to create.
Mhm.
You have to create that.
Yes.
It's called a spiritual value. What you talking about?
Okay, spiritual value. Then the other thing, I took a couple notes, not like Martell notes, but real notes. The other thing I wanted to say is sometimes we get so enthralled with the fun of things and the fast pace, we actually forget that we are a human being that has our own vulnerabilities. Like, that's why I say a spiritual practice, because sometimes we have warnings, internal warnings that we ignore. It's called instincts. People may have different words for that depending on your religion, your spiritual practice, but when your internal system is being triggered, pay attention to that, stop, pause, and reassess. Like, maybe, okay, I can see you tomorrow, or you know what, I'm not feeling it and I don't need to have a reason. I don't need to give you a reason. That's my right and that's my choice. So I certainly want to support, men and women who have been victims of this. It's really, unfortunately, like a lifelong struggle. But there is light at the end of the tunnel with continued strength and therapy, for sure. So that's just something I wanted to say. Everything else I completely agreed with what you guys have said, but it's hard. It's really hard.
It is. It is very hard. Thank you so much, Dr. EVA, for always adding levity to the conversation and giving words of inspiration to people that have gone through it.
Yeah. And thank you to the young lady, Miss Leslie, for sharing her story. And there are other men and women who've shared their stories. Thank you for just having that courage and bravery. It's your testimony is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. EVA. We missed you last night.
Okay, when you guys were crazy on Dr. Wendy. Are you kidding me?
And I didn't
could not keep up. I was like, I don't even know what to say, where to start. You destroyed her.
It was a kiki though when you watch it.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
We want your input.
Okay, you know what? Dr. Wendy, we're all evolving. I don't know about this whole list thing. I don't know, but her house was not that bad, guys. It wasn't that bad.
No. Dr. EVA, I have a question though.
Yeah.
If you were in Wendy's shoes and let's say a blogger was accusing you of stealing something as important as a donor list, wouldn't you just go directly to the source and ask Vivian, who is the CEO of the charity, to make a statement and come out and say something? Wouldn't you do that?
Okay, here's the truth. It depends on if I did it or didn't do it.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not a perfect human being. I know my own limitations, and if I know I got caught doing something I wasn't supposed to do, just be quiet.
No interviews.
No, don't do any interviews, or you know what? I've messed up before. I have messed up before. What you do is you go to the person and say, you know what? I apologize. It wasn't over. It would, whatever you have to say to just make it right. This won't happen again. I was under extreme amount of stress. This was my objective.
You want to give us an example?
You are so funny.
I think of an example of something I've messed up.
They was blowing up my Twitter today, tagging me in photos. People was going back and forth. It was too much. I'm trying to work.
I know, schoolboy.
Schoolboy. Now you welcome that energy. Said, you the clap back person. Come on now.
I had my popcorn because I was watching because I was working, but the scholars and the teacups handle my light work.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what? Sometimes we don't think things all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you think was, if you actually did this, what did you think was going to actually happen? People are not going to keep your secrets like that. Come on, stop.
But who was it? Karen kept saying, if she keeps bringing this up, I'm gonna have to air it out next season. She said, I didn't want to say nothing, but it was something that was unethical. And she kept saying that. She's like, I'm not going to say what it was. And Karen can keep some secrets now. Yeah. She was trying to act like, lady, I don't know you. And she kept curving the girl. But the girl, like, I know her. See, that's the problem when you're loud, strong, and wrong. You get exposed.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Karen hasn't come out and made a statement and said, no, Wendy and I were friends. Neither has Candace. No one's come to her defense. Well, Candace might tell a lie and come to her defense. I'm actually anticipating that, but nothing.
She threw a fan out there. She threw her yellow fan, and covered her face.
Candace can't be trusted neither. I'm sorry. Candace will flip on you if need be.
Yeah,
she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too.
That's true. And then she said she couldn't remember how much her student loan debt was, because maybe it's $1 million. I don't know. Maybe it's close to that.
You know when them people calling her.
Okay, you know what? Truthfully, okay, so on the one hand, to be honest, I can understand if you don't know the exact amount, but you know
what realm is in.
Around, I mean,
Dr. Evier, now she know how much it is.
She knows.
She know how much she owes. They calling her. They sent her the paperwork. She know. She just didn't want to admit it. That's okay. I mean, but
yeah. That's the truth. She didn't want to admit it, and that's the thing. We have to be intentional about the career choices and the career choice path. So, that's the thing. And some of these others this was my issue with the whole 4 degrees thing. And I do like Dr. Wendy. I am for education, but some things don't require a degree. Just because it's free does not mean you should actually do it. I'm just going to, point that out there, or put that out there. Okay. And I'm not saying she got anything done for free, but bragging about you have 4 degrees, I'm more concerned, what are you doing with it? Let's just focus on that. Do you remember when I first called him? I could not remember how many degrees I had because I've never stopped to count.
I keep telling them that, but they ain't listening. I mean, if your degrees ain't making you no money, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Yeah. No, honestly, and I'll tell you this, I've met doctors who don't even want their children to go into medicine. Straight up, because it's financially, it's not even worth it. The stress and the loans that you have to get,
Our debt is terrible, Doctor.
Yeah.
I've seen it. There been doctors, they on residency, they barely making 70 G's a year, and they got almost $500,000 in debt.
Yeah.
That's between medical school and everything, and then they have a wife, and then they have kids, and so they're on income-driven repayment plans. Every now and then, I would get a parent that would drop $150,000, $250,000, and they would pay their kids' student loan debt off. That would be a part of their wedding gift.
Yeah,
so
that's a beautiful gift. Lord help us.
It was. They would throw their Amex out there. I said, "Oh, you're pretty good."
Hey, won't he do it?
Yeah. So I mean, best of luck to her. I'm still supporting Dr. Wendy Osefo. I love her education. We can work on the decor. That's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm a work in progress too. But all the other stuff, just make it right, Wendy. Move differently this season. It's going to be okay.
I heard it's worse.
Good. Really? Roast her all season. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So how long you been a doctor, Dr. Evier?
I guess.
If I was I don't know the way you look. I would say about 5 years.
You're about right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right
You're
now.
such a beautiful person, Dr. Evie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in tonight.
She bi-coastal too. She a good doctor.
She's a good doctor. Give me house calls. I might need it. I need some.
I got you, schoolboy. Don't
All
worry.
right. I'm about to call. I'm about to call her 4 times a week.
Oh my goodness.
I got all of you. I
was like, that gets expensive, Bishop.
You got that good health insurance?
I know.
I do. I'm in the education field, so yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all plans usually is good.
That explains a lot. Yeah, I'll be
Yes,
watching
Dr. Evie. Love you. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna add Low Key to the chat. Hey, Low Key.
Hey, Low Key.
Hey.
Hey.
You guys hear me?
Yes, you look so comfortable.
Yes, listen, I have
And
a
you
lot of
got Wendy's
issues.
pillow back there. I see it.
Listen, I am so happy to be here with all of you guys. I'm here every night.
You
I'm
are.
here
You are.
every night.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm always like Pretty Please. I love Schoolboy, the Bishop. I just want to hug you. Oh, I want to hug you. Yeah, and Monica, I just love you so much. I missed last night and I was so mad. I was catching up today. I said, I missed the best show this week. It was so epic. And yeah, her place was deflated. It was just so pitiful. It was clean. Okay, I will give it that. Like Dr. EVA said, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like Bishop said, extravaganza. You know, the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was sad. Now, I just wanted to say, I appreciate you guys. I was introduced to you, Monica, from the Sky Squad, Richie Rich.
Oh, yes. I love DJ Richie Sky. Shout out to DJ Richie Sky.
Yes, you came on at an interview and I fell in love with your voice. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta find her. Where is she? And after that, I've just been like connected. I just subscribed to you plus. I found your page the other day. Yes, I was in the middle of listening to your story, and my old big mouth husband interrupted that. So I have to finish going through. Prayers to you and happy healing to you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now
I appreciate it.
Yes, I had a question about what we're discussing tonight with this attorney, this Blackburn guy. I thought he was the best when he first started and all of that, and I was getting so excited. Now, I'm thinking about all of this stuff he's talking about. The thing that comes up with getting jurors, is this going to be an issue? Because a lot of these high profile cases start having issues picking jurors. It's something along the lines of, what do they say? They can't get
the jury pool is tainted.
Thank you, Plez. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Is that something that could happen with him doing all of this talking? That's the question I have for tonight.
It could be. It'll be on Tiny and T.I.'s attorneys though to allege anything like that. Like they may ask for a change of venue to a place like not Atlanta, which they may want that anyway, and the prosecutors might go for it. Because it would actually be helpful to the prosecutors as well, because it's going to be hard to find a jury of people who don't know who T.I. and Tiny are or don't have preconceived notions about who T.I. and Tiny are. You know, that all goes during they call it voir dire process, where you question potential jurors. Each side gets to question the people who have been called to jury duty and ask them specific things. Have you ever heard of Sabrina Peterson? Have you ever heard of Tyrone Blackburn? What are your opinions of these people if you have heard of them? Do you think you could be fair and impartial? Like, they have to ask all of those types of questions.
Okay, yeah, that was scary. I said it makes no sense. But then again, you never know, because I was called to jury duty one time before and I didn't want to be there. So they're asking me these questions, I'm answering them. And I said, could we, really speed this up? I have to go and see my brother who's locked up upstate right now. And, I'm not really into him being there. And I don't think he had a fair trial. And, they never called me back. So
yeah, so here's the thing, and I'm gonna I absolutely respect you. This is just what I want people to think about in general.
Okay.
I understand everybody's busy, but we fought for these rights to be put on juries. The point of a jury is to get a trial of your peers. So you have to have your peers there, because we have to think about everything that goes into the criminal justice system, right? Including racism. So if all the black people say, I gotta work, I'm tired, they don't pay me no money, I don't want to be there, then we get these verdicts that we get. Same thing with when we're trying to prosecute these police officers, and they get called before the grand jury. Sometimes the DA is different in different states. Sometimes the DA can just charge. Sometimes they have to bring it to the grand jury. And we get the same, results if people are like, I don't want to serve on the grand jury. Then we got all these police officers running around here killing people with no consequences.
You're
so
right.
I feel you. I understand what happened with your brother, and that's very legitimate. Lots of people, because of what this country has done to us, have very traumatic memories and just feelings about the criminal justice system. I absolutely understand, but a lot of times judges know when somebody is just trying to dodge jury duty. Like you said, some people will go and give jacked up answers just because. They also can fine y'all for that. So depending on how mean the judge wants to be, yeah, depending on how mean the judge wants to be, y'all, just think about these things, and about the greater good sometimes. Take the week off work and get you some popcorn in the jury room, and
You're right. Makes sense, because you're right. Because every time you see the jury pool sitting up there, it's just a bunch of light faces and not enough. And then people are complaining, why does it look like that? It's not enough of us. Well, because y'all did something like I did. Okay, so all right, that was my question for the night. And I am so glad to speak to you guys. I love everybody.
We love you too.
I love you too.
Yes,
thank
you.
you
I
for
see you
what
in the
you
chat,
do.
and you're so supportive and so kind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
yes, I love
tuning in.
you. Look, I'm just like schoolboy. I'm here for you, Monica. I'm here for you. Anybody coming for any? And Marcella. And also, I just got to say this really quick, because when this first started opening up with the school, with T.I. and Tiny and the victims, and listen, I had a little issue with Marcella. I love her to death, but I was just like, I'm not really feeling Marcella's opinion right now when she was saying, we're not sure, and, some of these people could not be real. And I'm just like, come on, Marcella, stick with us. So then we did the Raz B story. She went ballistic. She had all that energy. So I wanted to ask, I came in here, I wanted to ask Marcella that night, why is the energy different? Which, not for nothing, I want her to have it for both people, but I was like, why is it for Raz, you were all right in there believing, but for the girls in TI, it's like, we got to wait and see. I didn't get that chance. Some people in the chat thought that I was being messy. They were like, don't bring that here. I says, no, it's not an argument. It's just a valid question. I wanted to know how she was feeling, like what was going through her mind.
Yeah.
So I backed out respectfully. I told them I'll leave, but I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. And so then the other night when Marcella said it, she answered the question for me. She goes, I wasn't convinced in the beginning, but I am convinced now. I was in here saying, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. My husband was like, you in church? Yes, I'm in church tonight. Marcella done said it. She done made a peace. I said, we are bestest friends again. But, I understand everybody's entitled to
Yeah.
their opinions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was a valid question. So we understand. We can disagree respectfully. And that's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
Thank
but I still
you.
love her. Love you guys.
Thank you for calling
Love
in.
you
You have
too.
a wonderful
No
evening.
problem. See you guys soon.
Bye
All
bye.
right,
See you soon. I'm going to bring Lucky Love on. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Lucky Love.
Hi, how
Salute.
are you?
Good.
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. So as I was watching you guys, I was actually like doing some reading up on ethics, for one of my classes, and it was just right on. And I'm, for whatever reason, like whenever I was rewatching him, because I had to watch him a couple of times, a lot of questions started kind of going through my head, and he kept reminding me of Michael Appigliotti, and it almost seems like he's re-victimizing the victims. Because it seems like he's using the victims. That's the impression that I got. The other thing is, like, when I was actually reading my ethics, I was like, wait a minute, like there's like standard of practice for all across the board for all industries, right? And so when it makes me think like there's conflict of interest because of like the role that he has with Sabrina. And I'm wondering if that was disclosed to the victims. And the other thing is like respect. Like that was a big thing for me. Like you're not even giving respect to the victims for them to be able to share their own stories or giving them that room to be able to tell their own stories. Like you're telling them, you're saying, oh, this person had to go to rehab. This person, are they okay with you sharing that? What happened to, privacy? And it just seems like it's just too much at this point. And that's why I was saying Sabrina needs to take a back seat and let the right authorities do their jobs. But plus, can you speak to like what the standard of practice would be for an attorney so that we have a better understanding in terms of what he's supposed to be doing to like represent the victims in the right way so that they can get their voice heard without ruining the case?
Well, all strategies are different. The standards are what I already spoke on earlier in our professional rules of conduct, which is not violating attorney-client privilege, not giving any appearance of a conflict of interest. As you said, if there is a potential conflict, you have to disclose that to your clients, and they have to actively, like in writing, say, I have been informed of these things or this pre-existing relationship, and I am fine with you representing me and representing this person. So, like I said, if the actual victims are going back telling Sabrina stuff, that's one thing. But the way they interacted on camera with her asking him on camera, did somebody go somewhere? That's a problem. Like, that's a problem. So yeah, look, lawyers range and they vary. You got people who are super conservative. You have people who are more flashy and are flamboyant. We saw it with the late great Johnny Cochran. Some of his methods may have been too much for people who were much more conservative in their representation. Some people think you should go behind closed doors and work with other attorneys, DAs, public defenders, make deals, argue and advocate on your client's behalf. Some, I think in this situation, because Georgia, it's kind of not necessarily closed off, but because of the allegations that T.I. has deep pockets there and deep connections there. And honestly, Tyrone is just in over his head. If he went straight through law school, passing the bar, he is at best 25, 26. So yeah, like it's a lot. And he does not have the actual experience to back up what he's trying to do. A seasoned attorney is not going to be intimidated by somebody fresh out of law school and hanging up their shingle in 2 years. He doesn't even have enough experience to have built the right connections. He has no ties to Georgia. He has no ties to California. You know, that is why he's trying to leverage the public to gain influence. But the way you leverage the public is more like what he was doing before. New York Times thing, genius. The Atlanta journalist, whatever that was on the press conference, great. Going live with Sabrina Peterson, no.
Yeah, because initially he was adamant about not wanting to disclose certain information because he was concerned about their safety. Initially, he wanted to make sure like he was going about the right way. So he was very strategic in the beginning. But now, and please like correct me if I'm wrong, from what it seems like, it's coming off as maybe if I was one of the victims, I would fire him ASAP, to be honest. And the reason why I would fire him is because I would feel like he's using me to like make himself public and to make a name for himself. And I wouldn't want that type of representation. I would want him to move in a different way. I would want him to be talking to not Sabrina, but I would want him to be talking to like prosecutors. I would want him to be talking to people who can actually take action. Right. And I'm not saying anything about T.I. and Tiny because I need to really read up on it. But as my attorney, I wouldn't want someone who moves like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you, Lucky.
It's a balance. I think they probably know that is the benefit that he's getting because he has to be getting something, from it. He's likely most of these people aren't paying him. You don't pay somebody to take your case to a criminal level. The payment is going to come in on the back end with the civil cases. And then he can take a portion of those on a contingency fee. You don't get contingency fees for family and criminal and stuff like that. So he has to be getting something out of it. He just needs to, again, it's about the lack of experience. He does not know how to play his hand efficiently to where it's not as obvious, I should say.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Plus, for like actually explaining that because I think the legal portion, a lot of us are not attorneys, so we don't know. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Lucky. We appreciate you calling in tonight. You have a good evening. Bye. Marcella, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay.
Bala.
She's making it rain like we in the club.
fireworks. We need to have Marcella shows up and shows up out every single time. She wanted low key to know that she appreciates and understands where she's coming from and to say thank you. She also texted me so that low key would know that. Sandy Carey, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's take on one more caller, and that's our girl, Princess. Hey, Princess.
Hey, Princess.
Hey,
you in the city.
Hey. Princess,
plug in my microphone.
Princess, I just want to acknowledge the super chat before you begin. Remain teachable. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, panel, for covering heavy topics in the manner y'all did. Sometimes it's too heavy and triggering. However, it's healing for others. Ples would be a paralegal. No, not to do what this lawyer is doing. Can his ethics be questioned? She said, yes, it can be. Yeah, definitely. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, definitely. Princess, my love. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah. I was not calling in, but the people in the chat.
So what you're saying is you was busy.
Well, no, not with that. It's been a hectic night, very heavy evening. So I was gonna just, I've been all over the place. I was like, I'll just hang out in the chat. I heard Monica call me. I said, I'm gonna hang out in the chat.
You know we can't have a show without Princess calling in, girl.
The chat was like, okay, where you at? I'm like, I'm right here.
Yeah. We gotta have our all about the tea royalty on that.
Hey.
Because I wasn't fully engaged, but I did catch up on some of the stuff. I told you guys that before. I really just wasn't feeling this person in the first goddamn place. He just got off his mama's titty, and you talking about a case of this magnitude. It's gonna take a lot of manpower. It's gonna take more than one person. It's gonna take a team to put together this case on the behalf of the alleged victims. The fact that I think, listen to what he was saying, that Sabrina probably gave him some coon cat anyway, because he really smiled when he said her name and the way they met, and he was a young tender, and I'm sure she probably was experienced by then. So she might have gave him a little poom poom back in the day. And I would not be surprised that if she gave him some poom poom yesterday in order to help pay for this case. It's a conflict of interest. I think that he's not well-rounded. I don't think that he's incapable, but I just don't think that he has what it takes to get the job done. And that's another reason why I feel that T.I. and Tiny will not go to jail as of yet. It's nothing that moves me to say that they will get the jail time that they deserve or what they were going to get for doing this case. You got Michael Avenatti, he effed up R. Kelly's case down here in Chicago. He come here talking all that S. And, next thing you know, 2 weeks later, he going to jail for fraud. So I was like, damn. So that's what happened to Michael Avenatti. And in these situations, you guys love to use that word clout. Let me explain to you that now is the time to use the word clout for this young tender lawyer that he's out here. Trust me, he's doing this case for a little no money, okay? But it's going to give him clout, and it's going to put him in the rooms and around the people that he needs to be around. After this, then he'll get the money that is needed for him to do whatever he wants to do. Because if he were to even represent this case, much less win, which he may or may not, he doesn't have to win, because it's going to put it on his resume and put him in the rooms with the people that he wants to be in the rooms with, and give him what, ladies and gentlemen? Clout. So the clout is not for the victims. The clout is not for Sabrina. The clout is definitely not for T.I. and Tiny, because they've already amassed that, because they have clout with people as Keisha Lance Bottoms, other people in movie studios, in music industries, things like that. Tiny is she's very hands-on. She's very powerful in the music scene, whether we want to know it or not, just from her experience even before T.I. came onto the scene. So I'm just really just kind of watching this. I don't want people to think that I don't believe that anything happened. You're innocent till proven guilty. There is no proof right now. All of the allegations from all the people that are making allegations are invisible. I have been on the jury. Excuse me, like I said in the chat, I've been on the jury in a case. It's not fun. When you talk about these things, when it comes to sexual assault, murder, all of that, you are privy to seeing everything. I was on a murder case. I had to see everything. And the young guy, he was on trial for murder, and he was a pastor's kid. And when it all came said and done, I really just didn't believe he did it. He was thinking that he was about that life, and I could see that the people around him set him up to take the fall for something that he thought he might have would have did, but he did not do. They lied. But the people that were the peers, the jury of your peers, most of them were light skinned. They were white, and the assailant was black. And some of them were racist, and they were ready to put him away just because of circumstantial evidence. And it is your duty as a jury is to make a person guilty without one reasonable doubt. And that is what we have to think about here, is beyond any reasonable doubt. So that doesn't always happen, but this is going to be a thick thing, and people are going to have to come out, and they're going to have to show their faces, and they're going to have to come up with some evidence. And the feds are going to have, they're going to have a 98% conviction rate. They don't come out until they got all of the evidence and they know they finna send your ass up. So this is why right now I don't feel secure in this situation. Little young man, he could be an excellent lawyer. He needs some veterans on his team. He needs to stop messing around with that vet Sabrina and let somebody else carry her case. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Oh my God. I just saw your DM. We'll catch up after this live, my love. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all, let's wrap things up. This was another heavy discussion, but I think we handled it in a very professional and relatable way. Schoolboy, where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me on my YouTube page at school_boy. You can find me on Twitter with the same handle, school_boy. And you can always find me on Instagram at school_boy_2021.
Great. Before I move forward, I just want to shout out Naturally Mar. Thank you so much for the super chat. How can he represent the victims and Sabrina, since she was also involved to recruit those women to be abused? She's saying she's not involved in that. She said Shakana lied on her, and she's suing Shakana for defamation of character for lying on her, according to Sabrina. Marcella, my love, thank you so much. Cindy, thank you so much for the super chat. I really hope the victims get the justice they deserve outside of that lawyer's inappropriate communication and contact with Sabrina. Thanks, panel. Thank you. We appreciate you. Oh, Marcella, thank you. Ron Allen, while Phaedra Parks planted the seed, Shekinah Joe watered it and implicated all parties involved. She sure did. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Plez, where can the people find you?
Hey, y'all can find me on Instagram at scared_of_beautiful, and here on YouTube at Scared of Beautiful, just spaces, no periods.
Princess, thank you so much for the super chat, my love. She says, I told y'all I wasn't feeling him like that. He can't do it alone. He needs some vets. Yeah, absolutely. Princess, where can they find you?
That's my Instagram up there, Princess AV613, where you can also find the links to everything I am on. I have my own YouTube page, House of the Princess, HAUS, and there's 2 A's in the D, but that's there. And my website is houseoftheprincess.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok, I'm in Clubhouse, and I'm missing something, but Instagram again, but I'll forget, but you'll find me.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, she everywhere.
Everywhere. Beautifully animated. Thank you so much for the super chat. Monica needs to be on that Calm app. Hearts and hugs to you, my love. Bishop, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bishop Red Pill. And you can also find me here on YouTube at The Bishop with 2 E's. And I'm also doing, if you want to be in the After Dark show, I'm having one in the Intimacy Lounge. It's called Lounge Talk. And I'll be starting that stream like in 40 minutes.
All right now. Listen, the Intimacy Lounge, okay? Intimacy. Leslie Kennedy, thank you so much for the super chat. Blessings to the panel for discussing this. This ferret and frozen pork lady need to be exposed. All jokes aside, this is sad. It really, really is sad. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Teacups, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We love you all, and we appreciate you so much. Mods, thank you for holding down the chat like you always do. Everyone that sent in a Cash App or a super chat, thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on. Peace and blessings to all of you out there, and I want y'all to stay safe, and be blessed. We'll see you on Sunday for our Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. We may do Bell Collective. We're not sure yet, but just tune in and find out. Have a happy weekend, everyone. We love you. Bye.